We're going to start with you, Hamilton. If she's
Spiritual
making
Hamilton.
that chips.
Spiritual guy.
What about the money, right? What about the Benjamins?
I forgot. Spiritual guy. Spiritual man.
And we will be passing the plate around, so be ready.
In Jesus' name, amen. I think it just, we spoke about this earlier. I think it really depends on the maturity level. I think, especially nowadays, a lot more women are making a lot more money than men, which is cool. But it's just going to depend on how the woman is treating that guy. I mean, if it's I own you, I make more money than you, you should be doing this for me, you should be doing that, that's going to be a problem. But if it's an issue where, that's just what I do, I make this money because of what I do, it really holds no weight on me submitting to you or me loving you, I don't really think it's a problem. But I really think, it's kind of plays on maturity, because you will have some guys that is full of pride who have an issue with, messing with someone who makes more money with them, and she can be perfectly all right with it. It's like, it's no big deal. But so again, it just depends on the two people and just kind of where they're at as far as a common ground.
Okay, Ron, here we go. If a woman's making more money than you, are you going to be more passive, or are you going to give her a little bit more respect, or tend to be a little bit more slow?
No, no. My short bus is here. I gotta go. No, I think it just comes back to if I care about the lady and I want to be with her, that doesn't matter. I mean, that we're both wealthy. We're bringing it in. We're dropping it in the pot, and that it goes back to my thing about discussing those kind of things, and how she treats you. If she's going to talk down to me because I make less money, if she's going to still let me be the man or whatever of the house, or the king and the queen situation, I think it really doesn't matter, because we're bringing everything into one anyway. So I think it's just how you deal with each other and how you care about each other, and all that'll work out. We just have a nicer house.
Okay, James, we got you next. James, she's making more money than you. Do you mind being on that passenger seat, you know what I mean, while she drives down the street?
With the skirt on.
I mean, to that point, it doesn't really matter, because, I've dated women that I made more money than them, and I've dated women that made more money than me. At the end of the day, we can still bring that together. I can hold my own whether you make more or not. I can hold my own with you, you know what I mean? So I think that doesn't matter. That's putting boundaries, again, on individuals. Just run with it. Okay, you got the tab this time, I got it next time. Who cares? You know what I mean? So, that wouldn't make a difference with me. Let's go have fun.
Okay, Jack Money, from your perspective, what do you got to say about that?
It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, everybody keeps saying maturity, and that's the big thing about it. If you're mature enough to deal with it, and this person that you're with is not holding it over your head, like every time something happens, well, that's my car. Well, this is my house, and I paid for this, and I paid for that. Nah, you can't do that. As long as it's mutual respect, I don't care if you're making $1 million more. It can work. You just have to keep that respect.
But I care.
And don't throw it in my face every time we get into it, because who else is this? Yeah, I've had that experience before, but I ain't gonna say nothing else about that.
A woman making $1 million, I'll walk around the house in a maid outfit. Yes, indeed.
TMI.
Okay, we're gonna open up the floor to anybody who has questions that they may want to ask. We're gonna start off with Ashley. Ashley, what do you have to ask the panelists?
So with today's society, being a microwave society, we've talked about that a lot. Dating has... Stand up?
Yeah, we're going to get everybody stand up this
time. Okay. The way that dating happens now has changed. So my question is, what do you think has happened to the art of courting? Nobody really courts anymore. It's all about dating, and everybody's definition of dating is different, as I learned earlier. Yeah. Some people's definition of dating is smashing, which is not my definition and not Webster's definition. But my question is, what happened to the art of courting? What do you think happened to that?
Courting got shot on the side of 285 about 20 years ago. And I totally agree with you. It's everyone, dating is such, again, it's really a situational definition. Everyone has their own definition of dating. But courting kind of comes into play where it's just like you said earlier, when you're really trying to take the time to get to know someone, and you're really trying to see, okay, can we, based on what we have and where we are, can we come together and become a union and gel together? But that only comes to take time, you know, and a lot of guys and nowadays, unfortunately, we just want to, I guess, you know, throw it in the microwave, hit three minutes, and see what happens. You know, it's like we want to go from dating to marriage, and we incorporate too much too soon, and then, you know, all hell breaks loose.
Okay, ladies, we got Jack Money. You want to?
Yeah, on that, the courting has been lost because a whole generation is not passing down to the next generation. We got young men now that don't even know how to tie a tie, because men used to pass that down to younger men. When I was a kid, older guys would pull our coattail on everything and say, nah, man, don't do that. Do it like this. We got a whole generation of young men now that don't know how to open the door for a woman, don't know how to pull her chair out, and don't know how to treat her like he would treat his own mother and sister, because we are not teaching them that anymore. It's not lost. It still exists. And it hasn't been 100 years or 200 years ago that we did that. It wasn't that long ago. It's just going to be a matter of men stepping back up and saying to these younger men, this is how you do it. This is how she should be treated. You treat her just like she's your sister or your mother or any other woman with respect. And then you'll start seeing courting come into play more. Because when I was a teenager, you wanted to date a girl, you had to go over her house and meet her dad.
Greg telling his age. Don't tell your age, Greg. Don't tell your age.
So, and we had the discussion about the parties. We got this generation that technology has been a curse and a blessing.
Yep.
I mean, it helps out a lot of things, but it has divided us socially. And we have to get that back some kind of way.
Okay, ladies, we got any more questions to the deepest thoughts? Well, we get these men up here that can answer them.
My question is I'd like to get your opinion as strong black men for us women that are raising sons. What advice would you give us as far as helping our young black men, small children, middle school age children, have more fulfilling, successful relationships? Or I would like to get your input on that.
Go ahead, Ron. You want to tackle that one?
What Greg was saying is just leading by examples. It doesn't have to be a father. It doesn't have to be, a cousin, a brother, but just have some male figure in that young man's life, a positive male figure, like the minister here. No, anyway, but but seriously, I think that's one of the things that I look back on, and having my uncles and grandfather, my dad around, and just kind of see how men are. I think a lot of things that's going on now. In my subdivision, I see a lot of kids walking around with the skinny jeans on and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not really knocking that, but I'm just saying that it's like one of those things. Huh? Oh, it's horrible? Oh, yeah, I'm just saying. I wasn't wearing the skinny jeans. I'm just saying. But anyway, but I think you just should have a positive role model in their life, be it whoever, just make sure they're positive and just kind of give them that perspective of how to be a man, and I think that'll go a long way.
Let me add to that. Let me give you the flip side to that. I grew up in that environment, not having a father. And, as a young man, I had a lot of resentment. I had a lot of anger because I couldn't understand why my father wasn't there. Why did my father want to be in my life? And then my mother remarried, and so it's a new guy there. Okay, who is this guy? Why is this guy my father and not my real father? So I think in that situation, you should talk and understand your son, and if a father is not there, explain to him why that guy or the father's not there, and that doesn't mean that he's gonna grow up and not be a responsible man. I grew up and I fought all odds and all obstacles, went to jail, all that, but I came out on top. So teach him how to still exemplify the traits of being a real man, regardless if that father is not in his life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Hamilton.
Let me just piggyback off of that real quick, because, just like Jay, it was my mom raised 3 boys, and 25 years she worked 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. coming from school. So needless to say, we was on our own. But for you, what I'll just say is it's something my mom did. My mom prayed every day, nonstop, She never threw religion down our throats, but she continually prayed. And I think, again, spiritually, when something happens and you're saved from so many different things, please believe there's somebody out there that's praying for you, because there's so many situations that I was saved from, and I knew by all means it was because my mama was on her knees praying every day, every morning at the same time. And that kind of, I grew up without my dad. So I didn't have any male role models. My brothers were gone, so it was just pretty much me, my homeboys, and playing basketball. But, when I got saved, and a couple of years later, that kind of what spearheaded my ministry is to kind of give back to the younger generation who are being raised by women, to kind of, again, like we all said, just to give that male role model, and to let them know that, regardless of what you see in the streets, there are brothers that are doing good. There are brothers that, want to do well in life. You don't need violence to get past. You don't need this. You can go to school and be educated and get a good living. You can do those things with the right frame of mind without feeling like, I gotta smack somebody up and rob them in order to make a living. So, if there's, shout out to Powerhouse Ministries, so I'll give you some information after. But,
no plugs right now.
But again, it's just, just continue to pray and believe that, it may not happen now, may not happen in a couple of years, because it took my mom about 27 years of prayer for me to even get to this point now, and I'm 34 now. So, it took a long time, but it does help. It does work.
To address her question, I think the most important dynamic we have to realize, we have to get back to a community base in dealing with our children. It's like if someone else's child is doing something out of order, we need to start addressing those issues. But the most important dynamics of me personally dealing with a woman was learned in interpersonal relationships. A woman can raise a man to respect a woman, and if a young male is raised by a woman and don't know how to respect a woman, that's not the problem of single parenthood, it's the lack of parenting. Mm-hmm. If that mother takes time to say, hey, this is what you should do, make that son do what it is that that you would like inside of a man. That way, when he grows up and matures, he has the opportunity to pass on what he's learned to whatever relationship he embarks upon.
Good feedback. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for coming out to the Mr. He Got Game show. Thank the panelists. We got Hamilton, Ron, James, and Greg. And I want to thank all of you for making this show the first show, a very successful show. Give a round of applause for yourself as well. This is game time. This is my conclusion. There's a Proverbs 18:22. A man that finds a wife finds a treasure, and it receives favors from the Lord. So being said that, we as men can no longer live our lives for ourselves only. We must realize that we are connected to life and life itself. So until next time, this is my game time.